If you notice in these videos that do stem across, just let's start at 2021, I think, a lot of them, but there's some that go back, you'll see a difference in my, well, I would say physical appearance. I am, I've turned 50, you know, I mean, it's like I went from, I think I made my first video when I was 38, I think, because I think I got on the internet when I was, when I turned, well, I know I had my 40th birthday when I was on it for a couple years maybe, or a few, but I think it's hardly 12 years that I was on Facebook and on social media and all that. Um, and I actually feel like that I'm going to turn it off because it's going to go into a whole, it has to go through a whole rigmarole. Like you want to check in on what they're doing with it, you know, kind of a thing. But because you would like, I mean, I would like to think that we are really doing work here. In fact, I know we are. See, if we're influencing each other, I know all about that because I'm a musician, and that's a really important thing to do is to share something really amazing that we we perhaps are, which is an informative person. I don't know. I don't know. See, I'm in a very I'm heading towards a crossroad, person, and I might not make these videos. I was kind of warning people here, even though I mean that's kind of the way it is, you know. It's like I'm experiencing depression, and I think really what it is, you guys. I'm gonna put this video when probably on the 23rd, just to give you a video to watch. I think that, see, by that time, by the 23rd, I'll probably make a video where I look completely different. But no, I was trying to tell you how you can see I know that I've been broken down, and you wouldn't know it. See, I'm finding it impossible to talk about this, but see, because I'm still dealing with a huge amount of pain, and I'm really trying to process it, and I would like to know if it's just me, and the answer is yeah when it comes to my, well, how I feel and how I know I can see my financial situation. But see, if you have a troubled romantic life, then your financial life can suffer too also, right? Like if you even have like a, or is it vice versa? See, I think it's vice versa because I've always worked and I've always been very good at just minding my own business, and then you hook up with people later on, right? You show up with you, right? And you know, you gassed up your car and you go and you might even bring some food or whatever you do, but you're able to show up and sustain yourself because you have your finances together, at least for you, right? And see, I would not, I hate this fucking video. I wouldn't let myself associate with people. It's really uncomfortable. See, I remember trying to play in a band, right? Where, I mean, I was struggling. I wasn't comfortable there because I was struggling. I mean, I was, of course, it's hard to feed yourself the way you want to when you're not making the right money. Right at the time, I was like that. So anyway, right now I'm trying to help myself with all kinds of means that I think that is, it seems illusory, uh, but if it's meant for you, then it's going to help you. It's going to help you, you know. And I I'm suffering bad, you know. I think mainly it might be the radiation poisoning. But then again, like I said, you know, I think I need I need to get some rest. I need to get in my spaceship, and yeah, here I am looping again. See, I'm probably not going to make any of these videos anymore, and I hope that things get better for me. Because I want to be more interesting than just telling you that, I mean, I don't want to even, see, I think that anxiety and depression comes from by way of just kind of, you're not doing a certain thing for yourself, right? That's kind of like you're just kind of, you know, I don't know how to handle the energies that I've been handling. See, I was trying to tell you guys, like, say, okay, since the time that I put out that darn narcissist video, um, talking about the gift-giving narcissist, I've known about the subject matter. I mean, I known about. See, why call it narcissist? I think it's just toxic people who are kind of off. Some of them are so off. I mean, really, you know, you get a gut feeling, really, and I've never. See, you don't want to get too close to them because they'll hurt you. They hurt. They're hurting though. They are. You can't take it personally, right? Because they're kind of like, what fucking planet are you from? And it turns out that's kind of how it is. Some of them, babes, some of them. I live up here, and I've seen them. I've worked close up with shape shifting kind of people, where it's like, oh wow, this is a weird field of information. Like, what am I looking at here? See, I was studying it. After a while, I was just studying it since 2006 or 7, and then internet was there by then, and I was not doing that. I was really loving my life, right? Life is so much more beautiful without social media. But it's a different time era. See, see, we're kind of doing. I'm doing grief because, you know, you turn 50, and boy, when you have that Chiron return, everybody has their Chiron return now. But mine was on an angle, and it's in my first house of Aries. And I have to look at where exactly is my Chiron. Is it right on my ascendant? But I happen to think it's at 23 degrees. I already looked at it, but so on an angle like that, 1, 4, 7, and 10. Those are the angles. It's pretty much a grand cross like that, where you have Aries right there. But that's really potent, especially on the house of the self, and it's my whole self that is going through a complete, like, it is such an uncomfortable feeling. I already tried to talk to you about it, about molting the skin, but it's more like there's a shell that I need to get rid of, a whole complete shell, and it hurts if you don't just get rid of it. You're going to get sick, and it's going to be so uncomfortable. That's one way to prematurely die, kind of just get debilitated. I mean, are you ready to experience all kinds of misery? I mean, I don't think I don't think it happens. I think that little bit there, boy, just, am I gonna edit that? But what I mean is that what I think really what is happening, because it's gonna be okay. But this time in our lives, right, when we're turned 50, you know, yeah, some people go through. Well, is it the midlife crisis? What is it really? I say it's you're gonna find out that there's kind of like, if you're a spiritual person, that there's a kind of, well, let alone that you might be already experiencing major health problems. But see, that's because spiritually, well, first of all, that's a spiritual root, by the way. There's spiritual roots to the reason why you have gotten any kind of disease and illness, even a small head cold. But yeah, it's either that or, like, you are noticing the spiritual, like, glass ceiling, so to speak. because it's like what I'm experiencing right now. What is that glass ceiling? Well, was I trying to tell you about the backdrop? See, I've worked for and tried to work with what's here, which is it looks like there's a human there, like me, but they will flash something. There's two types. I've talked about this before, and it's going to come up a little bit more and more, right? With the Aquarian age, that you want to make contact with aliens? Well, they're kind of here already, and they could come in the form of parasites. Really, they're synthetic things. The chemtrails. You want to know what's really in them? Oh, it's better than science fiction. And then just look up Harold Kultz. Harold Kultz. I've put the information up before, and I'm sorry that I say that I'm going to put up some information and I haven't. It's because I have been distracted from the way that I know how to confluence and create and do a flow. And this is really a trip because, well, it's not like my music that I've done since the age 3 all the way up till, well, forever. I wish I was still doing it, but see, it's your creative ability can be transferred. Really, I'm kind of a writer and just a communicator, a motivational speaker. How about that? And what is it? I don't know. Think with me. Hey, my channel, and we are channeling. We end up that. See, I was learning how to surrender to when it's time to get downloads, and I was starting this video up as to really, it's severe right now. It's like, you know what? I would rather get real life help, like support, like acknowledgement, like say, hey, I appreciate that part, because there's something happening in my personal life that is very difficult. It's really difficult because it's the lower vibrational frequency, I guess, and I don't like to pick on this stuff at all. And I made another video about narcissists, and I don't think I'm going to put it up because, see, it's not, okay, so it's not about narcissists. Well, anyway, it's not, see, you can call them toxic people, but forget it. Stop trying to point at them and say it's not. Just say this: it's something that's not meant for me. That's all. You'll notice it. It's like, well, see, okay, so I don't like to mention it like this because I still, you love these people, but do you like them? That's another question. But what love and like is. But anyway, like my stepmother, something weird. It's like these are the strangest people, and then you pick up that they're fucking bent, kind of almost sadomasochistic, but it's like, no, this is the norm, Sean. Come on. Join the fucking monetary system of the club. Right? And it's like, ooh. I think that me and John Lennon would agree. I think John Lennon's all saying, you tell him, darling, Jesus, was that you? Yes, come here. Hey, come on. Would love to see a lot of my pain and suffering, and I can't believe it. Part of it, you experience grief. A lot of humanity is grieving. Because why? Because they can't play the guitar anymore and really say, no, we know already something has been smacking around the delicacy of how do we hold on to what we really need to hold on to. See, if you want to talk about how to do things and love itself, just that really, if you have a connection with somebody and how to value it and how not to tear each other apart, because there's that fucking monastery system over there playing a wicked, hideous game. Okay, but see, who is all just gung-ho and slithering around about it? Well, we can say that it's probably been here forever. It's something, if you're in case you, I don't know, is it a backdrop, babes? There's a lot of people up here where I live. It's a town full of a lot of money. And I could tell that it's I'm pretty much shut out because it's well, I've been here a long time. And my family, when my grandmother died, anyway, I don't like talking about this, but it's just obvious that the whole entire society, global, if it's influenced by whatever the fuck it is that has us doing the things we do. Really, it's just a suggestion. Here's your computer. I don't know. There is something more to all of this, babes. And see, there's a tug of war. But really, babes, I think that Christ Jesus was here to let us know that's like, by the way, you don't belong here. Is there some way you can find out the combination so that, first of all, you can bust through the dimensions, make it out into outer space? I mean, really, and start claiming your, like, where do you want to go? What do you really want? Did you figure it out? Can you manifest the vibrational frequency that is just pure enough that says, hell yeah, let's go to the garden, baby. No more shit eating shit. It's just more like something you can't even imagine. I don't know, right? See, I'm experiencing too much of this. And I can't blame it on the connection that's trying to come at me. But is this where I'm really confused? You know, I would love to think that life is going to happen later on, but it's always happening now. See, and especially when you are like engaging, it's either you have a mind there or a narcissist that has this trippy, that like a person that does mind games that, well, you know, it's more than that. If we're talking about, Shauna, let's talk about the shape-shifting situation you get. I was trying to tell you that, boy, the worst off, I think, I got the worst feeling from, is the ones where their eyes will flash pitch black. And it's like, this isn't the normal black. It comes with a feeling, too. Like, the last time I experienced it indefinitely was, is that a word, indefinitely, or is it just definitely? In high definition is what I mean. My hair stood up on the back of my neck, like just a few seconds before I saw the shapeshifter. And it comes with this energy of that, you know what? This person right here is dangerous because they're a narcissist. You want to call it narcissist? But it's toxic. They do not like you. They're kind of, it's more than jealousy, because that's kind of a healthy thing where like you're in admiration, right? Maybe you can say that. That's kind of like God acknowledging itself and saying, man, you know, hey, good job, and you know, I have yet to be, or whatever. Or that really, but no, I mean, really, it could happen that people are just straight, they you know, they are they're just not happy with their position, and they see, this is the thing about narcissism, right? And toxic person, maybe. I mean, it's a weird thing. We are talking about an interdimensional thing that is so profoundly fucking interesting, and that's why, and that's how I think that I got some like 300 subscribers in just this one video that was put together well. But no, your monitor is will send you videos, and if I happen to get on your feed, and I did put a video up that kind of told you, it's like, babes, no, you know, that monitor is trying to show you something. There's a video game we're playing now. And you wouldn't believe what's actually taking place. It's more interesting than all the science fiction films put together, because it is intergalactic, and it's actually planetary right now. They are lying to us about what's happening on Mars and what could possibly be happening with Venus and all of it. The moon, especially, and the vehicles, the vehicular matter. Yes, I've seen the zigzagging thing in the sky, you know, the movers, like you think that they are satellites, right? And then there's a space station, you notice that thing going. But no, I remember I saw a zigzagger, it was going like this, and then it just went like that, you know, and it kind of went like this, and I was like, excuse me, I'm not really that, like, stoned or anything. That thing has switched positions. I think it was just the other night that I saw something go on, and it's like I've already seen enough already to where it's like, okay, you know, it's just I don't doubt one bit that in Antarctica there's a beautiful place. It's just so different. It's a totally different occupation. And I'm glad to have that kind of imagination. I mean, to really know, because see, the real thing that you can know, really for sure, 100%, get it, is that you don't know. But why don't you allow yourself to imagine based on the fact that you don't know? It's more like, but really like, just think about it. Really, how limited we are, and how that you can hold. They hold up a map and a globe and say, "This is it." And it was discovered this way, and this is all we know. It's like there could be whole entire land masses that they're sort of like, shh, what do they know, right? Who is going to go on the journey like they dared to do, supposedly, to map all this stuff out? It's very strange because a lot of things might not match up. It's like, but why do we have this technology here that surpasses? Like, for instance, we have cars that have they've been kind of even went backwards, right? They were electric, but then they went gas. But then what's advancing is like our watches, Notice the language. Have you gotten something that's looking at you yet? Permanent. But really, what's happening? I mean, thanks for listening to all this. I was trying to talk about. You notice how I have a habit of just trying to escape. I feel like I'm in I don't know. I kind of know what I'm dealing with, and it's just, babes, in the world. Okay, so let's get back to the shapeshifters. I guess I don't want to talk about. It has kind of like to do with it, but no, let's just go in general over here. I mean, really, there's rotten, shitty ass people out there, and that's just the norm. And they have their version of doing you good, and this is the way it's. And they're very toxic, really, actually. And see, with Pluto going into Aquarius, I would dare say, watch out for the control freak gang, man, of the zodiac. Who is it? Taurus, Leo, Leos especially. Those people are cuckoo. Really, they take the cake for who's the narcissist of the. Really, it's like a battle between Leo and then Pisces, believe it or not. But anyway, Scorpio, you thought that they would take the cake, but no, they're just plain toxic. I mean, I don't know about narcissists, but anyway, Scorpio, control freaks, Aquarius, they talk about taking the cake. I already told you. They hooked your electrodes up already. And they have a robot. So they don't need to control you, man. They control you with a robot. And so anyway, they're over there. Who knows where they are? Do you know an Aquarius personally? They're way ahead of time, even though they're right there in front of your face. They have a humanitarian code installed in them already. The air signs are really trippy that way. Very, very trippy. A lot going on with those people mentally because, and so the Aquarius is very technologically advanced and they already have humanitarian issues down. Like they just don't understand like injustices of some sort and all sorts, and they kind of have a sense of duty about the whole and also the individual. They balance that out. See, we're gonna start learning all of that with Pluto and Aquarius. It's gonna Pluto is gonna really clean out the closet of what do you mean by human being and stuff like that, because the human being is gonna be left standing, going, this is what we mean by it, because see that means that people are gonna be coming together instead of being busted apart. See, the thing is that we lived in a reversed reality, and if we're supposed to come together, you bet people are going to be blown apart. It's like if it's supposed to turn blue or it's supposed to turn black, it's going to turn white. If it's supposed to go up, it's definitely going to go down. That's kind of what I'm experiencing. It's like, wait a minute. And it's uncanny because they'll just pull off a downer right when you're supposed to be going, Eureka! And that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, babes, it can't happen fast enough for all of us. And I hope on my last video, I don't know if I posted it, but I'm wearing this shirt and I'll try to post it. It's really hard for me to post these videos nowadays. I'm being sucked back by people that really don't really, I can tell, you can tell that they're faking appreciation of you. They just wanted to get something from you and they do, and it's really weird. It's like, and your resources could be hooked into it, right? It's like, well, how do I get rid of this? Because when I do, it means I don't get food and I don't get my, certain help that you're getting. And it's like, man, Can we change that for everybody? Because who knows if that's really happening? Well, of course it is, but you know, wouldn't we like to change it though? Just do some alchemy and say, but by the way, I'm still loving you, and you don't have to tap me that way. Can we be present with each other's well-being? Now that I'm feeling good, are you here for that? See, I'm, and it's so remarkable. This is so scary when I'm going through it because it's like, you know, really, it's just, um, I think it's only a matter of time for all of humanity because it's just like, oh God, it's creeping along with the Pluto thing, and it really does it's going to make a big difference for my generation. Aries, Libra too, you know, Cancer, and Capricorn, you know, is just done with their total complete transformation. I hope that they got a little bit more generous, lighthearted, and realizing what's actually happening here. You know, that, you know, so just less materialistic and like I said, more generous and lighthearted. But that's the good side. God is here to bring out the good side in everybody, the God side, you know. And so it's a purging of the humanitarians, or humanitarian, the humans, the organism is what I mean. Um, and so in the beginning, you know, I'm talking about my I know that I need a good influence in my life, right? It's just as simple as, see, I experience that I'm perfectly capable. So you don't want to let people know this because they try and take and harness your perfect opportunity. It's like, no, we're ready to live now. Not only live, but really connect and work together and find new people. And some people, they need to get the fuck away from people. See, you can't really find new people unless you get away from those old people. What I mean is like, you know, that's kind of where we are right now. Comment section down below. Do you notice you kind of switching off people? Did you get stuck with the fucking people that you are just trapped? No. See, this is what I am trying to do. I think I'm trying to just naturally kind of say, no, thank you. I know that it might mean that I cut off my resources and I'm back down to not feeling so comfortable, right? Because I would rather feel comfortable with. This is where I'm really deeply confused. See, the thing is I am no match for anybody because I'm not making my own fucking money. I mentioned this on this fucking video right here. That's the same for everybody, kind of, right? We're kind of held captive and we have to take care of our stuff and go like this. And is it really designed for us to harmonize? Is that something that is like a necessity for us to how if so, how does it work? See, now I am looking at a man-woman situation, and then like, okay, so on Facebook today I see this picture of this woman. She's holding a man's hand. Her hand looks kind of whitish, and she has fake nails on, and his hands are kind of just like first of all, skinny, flat. They've had enough. There's not only blisters there, but there is fucking worn down skin and blood. And then it's like a story of, you should really respect your man because they really do work hard, and even though they're not emotionally available, and you just might not understand how come they can't really show up like you know, and it was like, but just know that they're working. It's like, that is unfair. It shouldn't be that like one person is obligated to and having to take care of one, two, three, four, five. It depends on how many kids you had, and maybe the in-laws. Wow. Who set it up like that? I would say the impossible financial institution, who is in fact laughing at all of us. And I think getting back to this shape-shifting society, that they are just like merely like, oh God, they're in hell somehow, and but they haven't graduated yet to like not even outer space. I think they're trapped here and they're doing biological stuff with the human organism, but there's the potential of the human being there. It's the organism. It's like apparently It could house these little shapeshifters. So there's one that has the pitch black, and it comes with like, you know what? Fuck you. And you, like, really what I'm saying is like, you want to get that thing. You're like, you know what? I don't need. You don't want me. You're not looking at my best interests. Not really. There's a lot of disrespect here, and stuff like that. You just want to go. It comes with a feeling, but you know what? Here's the underlying feeling. They transfer it onto you. It's kind of a trip. They're stuck. It is the most paranoid, fearful feeling that they give to you. They're in. Uh, they have no foundation. It's paranoid. It is paranoid, and it is masking like they could have a lot of money and live in the highest of high places. That's how they're kind of masking their insecurity, and they're kind of like they want human like energy. And this is where you get the stories about, like, of course I believe it, that they have really mixed it up, like, and then they kill all the women that are practicing birth control, and making the place of sex safe, and so that causes more births, and they just gobble up I guess the adrenaline gland is something that they do to experience a high, probably like, oh, this is what it's like to be human, to really feel human. I don't know, maybe. Thanks for sitting through that. Now, but then there's this other shapeshifters that, okay, so I knew one woman that I used to work with pretty closely, and I started noticing, and I'm like, fuck. And then, see, you can call it the narcissist, or just toxic people, or just dysfunction people that are completely fucking disconnected. I think they're trapped here. They're having a hard time with God and the truth, right? Comment section down below. It's really interesting. It's more interesting than sci-fi. That's what I'm saying, because it starts us into an intergalactic subject matter. Because when we're talking about shapeshifters, and these are like reptilians, and I have seen it. Okay, so this one woman I was working with, she had the darker eyes, right? And I was like, fuck. And one time I mentioned it, and like we were doing the girls' meeting, and it's like I said it, and the whole room went to like almost pitch black. Like it was just like so silent, with beyond a cricket not even there, man. And I was like, what happened? Did I say something wrong? And they're like, because that energy, when it comes up, it's like you can't work with that thing. You walk up, and it's like after a while, you can feel it when you walk up to the workplace, and it's like, how's it going to be today? Are we going to be able to get something done today with the projects that we're working with? And the answer would be no. When they were something going on there, and I don't know if they're officially fucking spiritually possessed right in front of our faces. That was happening in 2006, 7, and 8 when I was studying it, and it was more than one people, way more, and there's a lot. So I met her mother, and then we go talk to her. I'm having problems by the time I'm talking to her mother, I'm saying, man, you know what, this woman, trying to talk about, a lot of people had problems with her, but anyway, I look at her eyes I'm trying to she's being really nice to me. I can see that she's really genuine about something, and for some reason we'll talk about Christ Jesus, and when we started to, I think she got so gleeful, and they get so happy, really, that now there's a reptilian kind, the human looking, their eyes will flash with the slits. It is the cutest thing. It's like, did I just see a cat, or was that a lizard or something? No, those are the different kind. I'm telling you, when they get joyful about Christ Jesus stories, and it's more like the scripture thing, and the idolization of it, and it's like they just, I don't know how they're captivated about it, and they're just, and you can tell it's like, well, this is so cute, because they're approaching it like a cartoon, like most everybody else does. That I know, it's because it's, well, like how that, I hate to tell you, but the Roman Catholic Church killing the women and Jesus over there, and then claiming to fool everybody, like, yes, and let's make it a religion, and hold a cross up. Woo! Scary. To this day, it makes me a little bit discomforted. And I can tell how fearful people are of me, somebody like me, because that person, Christ Jesus, was a woman. Get out of here. Okay, so anyway, getting back to probably just perfectly human saying, excuse me, but do not reproduce with a reptilian unless you can convert them into being a human being, and you do that by way of, whoo, I've been talking about this the last 350 videos, by way of the place of sex, right? You know, they seem very interested in it, but it's like, be careful, because can they care for you, you know, kind of a thing. And this is like the big issue, right? Isn't it? Ladies, comment section down below. Yes, it's really strange, right? Yeah, I mean, have you been taking on the profound position that you have, the responsibility to convert them and make them humane, tame them up, right at the spigot. It's difficult. You have a hard time at first, but then then you have to communicate, right? Excuse me. I know you have your interest here, but would you like to know what I'm interested in now? I mean, would you like to be interested in me? You know, it's like they're just like this approaching you, right? God, I can edit this out, but I was trying to tell you about the slit um type, the slit-eyed type of little happy little. They just have this little light because they're just like they're so close to understanding the universe, and really they're like, but you can see they're like still got a lot of the it's like they once were. Maybe they could just all of a sudden go into the dark one, but they're the light one. I don't know, but then I've seen the a whole entire field disappear. It's not the human figure anymore. It's basically like a serpent. It's a really kind of, it's cute. I think they really admire the human being accomplishment here. But yeah, they're just a little kind of a worm kind of a thing. And it's like, oh. And see the thing, well, I think that, well, maybe you experience this. Narcissists know, they're like, they know. And deep down, you know, that there's something inherently just kind of wrong, right? And they have to do what they do. It's almost like, well, yeah, it varies. There's many shapes and sizes, right? And sorry, it's not my favorite subject matter. And so I was trying to tell you how that it's just too much, you know. If you're experiencing, now I'm trying to wonder. No, really, I'm not, because I am nobody's financial equal right now. I mean, I'm sitting on stuff that I should liquidate if I really see. I'm being discouraged from it, from the people around me. It's like, really, I want a really good people around me. This is the thing. It's like, man, I guess I have to do it alone. See, the moment that you don't have to let people know that you have money. I used to know this one chick. She used to live up here. She drove a Nova. It's an old car, 70s. Her windshield was popped out a lot, but she was like a millionaire. She always had like $20,000 credit cards and stuff like that, and she always dressed up in a white, like kind of like a really fluffy white shirt, and then a vest that's kind of maybe silk. But no, she had these three dogs and a guitar in the back, and she was sleeping in the car. And she just, and she was kind of rugged but beautiful. In fact, she was a Libra. You can see that this person was like really trippy. But you would never know, though. See, I didn't know until you hear the story about it and say, no, that's who she is. And she was actually affiliated with people, and, you know, she's a cool person. But she just stayed homeless, and she had that going with her bank account. I don't think. See, I think some people just decide this thing, and they go, I'm not going to play that game, and I think it's a little bit illusory or something. And two, you can see that, well, you know, she's hanging on to a relationship, but that person is kind of dysfunctioned, you know, if you want to really talk about it. It's like, oh, and she's just being this warrior type. I don't know, man. See, talking about it, the money thing, for me, it's like, wouldn't you think, you know, comment section down below, trying to have a good conversation with somebody and have a little feedback so some people can read it. I don't know. Just, do you think that there's that dynamic between men and women, that where money is needed so that it can work? No. Like, is money really the woman's thing, or is it the man's thing? I say it's the man's thing because it's M, but then I was dialing in on that we don't really need money unless we have fallen off of our own ability to keep in perception our own intellectual properties, and that includes our ability to work with our hands. And I didn't just say that we just go back into the field over there and play with the dirt and then recede into a cave and eat our ears of corn. No. When we're talking about also claiming back our spiritual belongings by way of working the technology that quite possibly could be consciousness that awakens within each and every individual, say, just connecting to the field of information that is reality and starting to just be reminded. Because if you have DNA and you are using biology here, and um, it could be activated into the human occupation, which I say, yeah, what I'm talking about is kind of controversial, but it's universal. It's of the universe. It's one with the universe. So if you wanted to traverse the universe and have anything to do with any other planets, you have to graduate into becoming a human being, and then it's like sayonara, fuck this school, and then you go and chrISt takes your hand and we fly across wherever, and he's like, or she's like, so what did you want to do? Did you want to, where did you want to go? See, there's a point where you need to manifest your, how they say it is manifest your own reality, but it's like, no, you align according to your vibrational frequency. And so I'm going to end this minute 44. How about that? And 44 seconds. Yeah, baby, no editing, I guess. There's that saying, you should look up this little pamphlet. It's called, Lazy Man Guide to Enlightenment by Thaddeus Golas. It's just a little tiny pamphlet, but even lazier, you can flip it over and there's 10 little sayings that by the time you read it, man, I mean, really just fast a little bit and maybe take your mushrooms and go for a hike and eat and drink and just try to get into it. But then read those words and try to think about them and try to work it through and go through the equations, take the elevator where it's trying to go. The first, sorry, I'm trying to get to the 44 and 44 seconds. The saying, one of the first things it says is, the universe is our relation with each other. And I think the second one is, it consists of expanding and contracting beings. Talking about our vibrational frequency, see, we wouldn't even see each other in this realm unless we were pretty much vibrating at the same fucking karmic level, but the truth is no, we don't see each other. See, like the way that my neighbor put a fence in between us, is like they couldn't resist but keep looking, and they still look over my fence. It's like they just see my house and like, fuck, how do I block this out? It's like, because see, the higher vibrational frequency, I was trying to explain this, and I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to try and do it in 1 minute. Love is the highest one. See, love is the only one that is able to go up and down and to lower and then higher and lower. And see, the lower cannot reach above and start vibrating with the higher. It's kind of like, like it must get repelled or something, right? And so anyway, think about that. But love is different than liking, right? If you're a human, if you're listening to this, there could be a difference between, you love everybody unconditional, right? You love everything. You can't let it bug you, first of all. Just accept it, really. It's an acceptance, it's an allowance. It's like being present with it, and it's kind of saying, well, this is, say, there's another saying with that book that says, you ask yourself, what am I doing on a level of consciousness where this is real? So then, otherwise, like, say, there is those that aren't so accepting, and then there is the thing is that you can be that unconditional lover, but you don't have to like. You don't have to the person, but you can love them. You can say, well, you're kind of difficult, but I'm here for you.